Hey, Michael Church here, Crawl Space Ninja. Today I want to talk to you about what exactly is crawl space encapsulation. There's a lot of information out there about crawl space encapsulation, how to do it, what to do in that process and everything. I'm going to share with you what I consider crawl space encapsulation is, so that way you have an apple-to-apple comparisons of maybe some others that are doing encapsulation out in the market. We hope you'll stay tuned. If you're new to Crawl Space Ninja, we talk about everything related to crawl space encapsulation, waterproofing, indoor air quality. We hope you'll subscribe to our channel, ring that notifications bell. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and check out our franchise opportunities and our DIY store. I see a lot of contractors out there that say that crawl space encapsulation is simply just putting plastic down in a crawl space. Now, granted, it could be the plastic is put up the crawl space wall, attached to the foundation wall, attached to the pillars, and overlapped and taped and all that sort of thing. But whenever Crawl Space Ninja comes out to a home to do a crawl space evaluation, whenever we discuss encapsulation, we want to treat the crawl space. Remember, every crawl space is different. So the methods in which we try to improve that crawl space are different. But for us, crawl space encapsulation is making it a worry-free crawl space. Now, if it has mold, we're going to address mold. If it doesn't, we're not going to worry about it. If it has standing water, that needs to be part of the encapsulation process through installing French drains or the hydro-away water system, sump pumps, different things like that. But just simply going into a crawl space and saying that I'm encapsulating the crawl space by throwing down plastic isn't really fixing the problem. Crawl space repair would be more of that area. Now, if you need a vapor barrier, obviously, then that's part of the crawl space encapsulation situation. So let me give you some of the things that I would recommend if you're looking to encapsulate your crawl space. The number one thing everyone needs to think about is high humidity. High humidity is the cause of much of the mold problem in the crawl space. It can even affect the living space by causing dust mite problems or dust mites to grow out of control. So controlling the humidity should be the number one thing that most people in our area would want done. And that is done by installing a proper vapor barrier, normally pillars and walls wrapped and all that sort of thing, installing a dehumidification system to control humidity. But if I've got standing water coming in, or as I've mentioned before, if you have a home where the crawl space floor is lower than the dirt outside, HUD, the Housing and Urban Development division of the government, recommends that you install a water management system or waterproofing system inside of that crawl space, whether you currently have an active flood situation or not, because given time, you're going to take on standing water, okay? So if the dirt floor is lower than the outside and or you have flooding currently, you might want to consider a water management system, which is a French drain that leads to a sump pump to pump that flooded water out, along with the plastic and the dehu that I just mentioned. If you have mold and you have fiberglass or subfloor insulation up in the floor joist, that subfloor insulation needs to be brought down. That mold needs to be visibly and physically removed, and then a cleaner or a disinfectant applied to the wood to disinfect that mold, and then possibly a protectant added to keep the mold from coming back and to keep that wood from absorbing moisture. So those are just some of the things that could be included in a crawl space encapsulation package. And then of course, if we're taking out the fiberglass, we're going to have to put new insulation back, and Crawl Space Ninja typically will re-insulate the foundation walls because the Department of Energy has found that that is a better place to insulate a closed or sealed crawl space is what it's called. Anytime you seal the vents, that's what's considered a sealed crawl space. And insulating that perimeter, that foundation wall, is a better way to insulate the crawl space. And of course, the last thing that you want to always do is you don't want to allow that air inside the crawl space to become stagnant. So according to the Indoor Air Plus program that the EPA released many, many years ago, we always recommend that you have 1 CFM of air for every 50 square foot of crawl space, blowing that air outside of the crawl space, either soil gases that are building up inside the crawl space or some kind of odors that might be there or potentially there in the future. So that is my definition of crawl space encapsulation. Others may disagree with that. Let me know down below what you think your definition of crawl space encapsulation is. I'm Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja. Hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later.